Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of Church Tips. Bill, Chris Tenney Britton, and we're here today to share with you about your homepage. What's on your homepage?
You know, I have to say that as a consultant, and you do the same, we see a lot of church homepages. And what we see is that a lot of church homepages miss the mark. That there's three things that need to be prominent on every church homepage, not just on their website, on their homepage. All of this above their fold, if you will, or what I call above the scroll.
That's good.
For a first screen that needs to be there, and so many churches totally miss it.
Yeah. Well, I, not too long ago, actually twice in the last 2 months, have needed to find out the time of a congregation and...
Time of congregational worship service.
Worship services, yes. And I've gone up, in one case, I wondered if that was really the time or not, because the rest of the pieces on the webpage were very, very out of date. And then I needed some directions, and well, I followed directions like that one time. It was not good. So what we need on those websites are images, times, and directions.
And the number one omission, I have to say, the first omission in most homepages, the most glaring, is the images.
Oh, yeah.
They'll have images, but it's a picture of, not the church, but of the church building.
Right.
And, you know, we need to remember that the only people who are proud of their church building is you.
Right.
You and your congregation, which is great. We want you to be proud of your building, but nobody really cares about your building other than you. In fact, some of the larger churches meet in warehouses that look, you know, like warehouses, and yet they're huge churches. No one's bragging about their building. People want to see, when they're a visitor, when someone's searching your web page, people want to see, are these the kind of people that I am? Am I going to fit in? And therefore, the pictures of your church on your homepage need to be pictures of your church, the people. Now, you know,
your congregation.
Your congregation, yeah, members of your congregation. Now, here's the deal.
Okay.
If you are all over 70, don't grab your kids and grandkids and put pictures of them on the homepage.
No bait and switch.
No bait and switch, be honest. But it should be representative of your congregation. So that's the first thing. Your images of your congregation should be images of your congregation. In addition to the images, the next two things you've already mentioned that you need to have on your web page above the fold, above the scroll, is the time of your worship services, days and times if that's any question, and the directions. Now, you can have links to them, to either of those, but they need to be excessively prominent. And the reality is, you're better off having those pieces right there where people can find them.
Right.
If your homepage has those three pieces in place, then almost anything else you have on your website is secondary.
Right.
Now, keep it up to date. You should have an about section where we can find information about the staff and you know, the history of the church. You know, have pictures of the church building in your gallery. But those three things, images of your congregation, times, and location of your worship service, homepage of your website. Hey, we're out of time. We'll see you next week.
Have a good week.